Joining us now is barrister and broadcaster and president of Octopus TV, Andrew Eborn. Andrew, it is wonderful to see you again.
It's always lovely to see you, Gabriella.
Let's talk about Fergie, because there are reports that Sarah Ferguson is facing losing her Freedom of York honour over the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, just like her ex-husband. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, it's sad, isn't it? Because she continues to sink deeper and deeper into the reputational quicksand. And this was a gift to both Prince Andrew and Fergie for their wedding in 1986. Well, I bet they would have preferred the toaster, because she's certainly toast now. And what's going to happen? Prince Andrew, he lost the title a couple of years ago, and they're now debating in York. They're going to have a meeting in November saying, well, should Fergie also lose her title? And this is all to do, and we talked about this last week, it's all to do with the revelations about her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes.
And the money that was given to her by him, £15,000. She then tried to distance herself from it in a correspondence with the media, saying, well, she would never want to be associated with him at all. She then sent this sort of grovelling apology, which has come to light. And what's happened as a result? She lost lots of her charities that she was involved with. And now Claire Douglas, who's the York Council leader, she says there's a full council meeting of all York City councillors next November, and they're going to be discussing whether she should indeed be stripped of that honour, the freedom of the city of York, a glorious city. But poor old Fergie, that's what happens. And there's so much we talked about Fergie. She's sort of embroiled with all sorts of scandals, from sucking toe photos, you might remember, to allegations of a £500,000 access bribe to get to Prince Andrew. Now people want to stay away from him, probably pay £500,000 just to stay as far away as possible.
Well, and there are also reports about Princess Beatrice, that she's said to have lost all hope of becoming a working royal thanks to this deepening scandal engulfing the House of York. And, I really feel sorry for her in that sense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And she's a really hard-working royal. She's done nothing wrong. And it's all that sort of bad move. She's Prince Charles, or King Charles now. He's always liked her. They've worked on that sort of basis. She was hoping to be able to do more and more royal engagement, because it's exactly that problem, is that they don't have enough working royals.
Yes.
And they need to get them out. But basically because of her, mainly her father, but also the revelations about her mother as well. They sort of think that it's very dangerous because Prince Andrew might come in through the back door. So this is what they're saying. She's probably not going to be able to get as close to being able to do those royal duties as she might hope.
Now, Prince William, he's finally got his way, I suppose, with King Charles bowing to pressure and exiling Prince Andrew. I think, Prince William, it appears it's a win for him, really. And I think, Andrew, it shows that Prince William holds a lot of power.
Oh, it certainly does. And this is an ongoing battle about how close he wants to be to his uncle. You might remember, and I spoke about this last time at the Duchess of Kent's funeral, Andrew was there with Fergie, and there was a very embarrassing moment when Andrew and William were photographed being very, very close to each other. You can see they were both pretty uncomfortable. So what's happened is he's apparently wants to distance himself. He doesn't want to have any more photographs with Prince Andrew. He doesn't want him to come to Christmases at Balmoral, so he's been banished from that as well. They're not going to be fighting over the Monopoly board anymore. And it's going to be that sort of basis. It's a clear win for the future king, is what they say in this sort of Shakespearean drama that continues to unfurl every week. And basically, they're being sidelined, the Yorks. They're reshaping the monarch's boundaries. And the 43-year-old Prince of Wales, he seems to be calling the shots now. So a very interesting development from that point of view.
And there is so much drama. I mean, we're looking at the royal family. Things are looking pretty good for the royals around Donald Trump's visit to the UK, but there is certainly more turmoil with the royal family, especially around Harry and his father. Now, Prince Harry is accused unnamed palace figures of sabotage. Andrew, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, it's exactly that, isn't it? He had this wonderful visit under an hour, but it was all tea with the king. And we were sort of talking about this last week, saying, at last, hurrah. As predicted, he was going to go and see his father. He said he's going to focus now on the king. It is his father-son relationship. But all sorts of things were leaked about the gifts that might have happened. He said it sort of felt more like a state visit because they exchanged gifts in a rather sort of formal way. Apparently, he gave a photograph, a lovely framed photograph, not of Meghan and Harry, which would have been interesting on the mantelpiece, but rather of the two children, Archie and Lilibet. And basically, he said it felt very cold, however, and he thinks that people within the palace are trying to undermine him. It's very echoey of Princess Diana's thing about the shadowy characters, the men in grey suits, basically trying to poison her in the press and so on and so forth.
Right.
And Harry certainly seems to share that sort of view. So it's quite a sad sort of moment where we thought it was going to be so positive. We had the pomp and pageantry of the wonderful Trump visit, but this there's now sort of leaking and sort of at the sides. The good that has been done seems to be leaking away.
Now, Prince William's opened up about the emotional void left by missing his grandparents. Listen to this.
Miss your grandmother?
I do actually, yeah, I do miss my grandmother and my grandfather. Yeah, it's been quite a bit of change. So you do sort of, you think about them not being here anymore.
Yes.
And particularly being in Windsor, for me, Windsor is hers. So she loved it here. She spent most of her time here. Showing you around today is very much the case. I'm trying to make sure I'm doing it the way she'd want you to see it. She had her horses here as well, as you can imagine, was a big deal for her. So that's why she loved it here.
Andrew, what did you make of that?
Oh, it's a wonderful, powerful interview with, it's in the new Eugene Levy's show, The Reluctant Traveller. It's going to air on the 3rd of October, this coming Friday. And basically what's happened, he was given a tour of Windsor Castle, and it's the Prince of Wales showing his emotional side. He was very close to the Queen and indeed to Prince Philip, and he misses them. He does, as he says, I do miss my grandma and my grandfather. It's been quite a change. So you do you think about them not being here anymore. And I think we can all relate to that, people we've lost and so on and so forth. So what's happening is he's revealing his human side, which is very rare for some sort of people. They're being far more open about their emotions. But it's again a sort of positive side. It was a fascinating interview, and it's going to be a really interesting series. But they were in Windsor. I was down there for you during Trump's visit, as you remember. And we visited the various pubs that apparently he went to as well. But a very interesting insight into the future king.
Glad you got to see the pubs. That's crucial indeed.
I have one for you. There we go. It's going to be good.
Thank you.
The things I do in the line of duty for you, you know?
It's tough. It is certainly tough. Now, our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, has met with King Charles, and he's since ruled out talks of an independence. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, we all know what his views are, and King Charles knows what his views are. So he basically, lots of people pressurising him, oh, go on, force him to give it back, get rid of the monarchy. He said, he had a great conversation with Charles. There was a lot of royal rapport. He just said he wouldn't raise the topic. He knows what's going to happen. He had a lovely visit in Balmoral Castle up there. And he says so he's someone who's conscious about Australia's interest, and he's someone who is very aware of what is happening in Australia. And that's certainly true. Basically, now your wonderful Prime Minister, he became the first Australian Prime Minister to visit Balmoral Castle. I think it's since 1993. And you might remember then that Paul Keating paid a visit to Queen Elizabeth then and informed her that he planned to hold a referendum on abolishing the monarchy. What a great welcome that was. Yeah, thanks.
No. Yeah, no, well, I'm glad that there are no talks of independence happening anytime soon. Now, William and Kate, Princess Catherine, they are invited to Australia. They might be heading here after 10 years. I certainly hope so, Andrew.
Well, wouldn't that be lovely? There we go. So they've been invited for a tour down under by your Aussie PM. Obviously shared tea with the king. Much better than say, I want to get rid of you. Why don't you bring your son and daughter-in-law? And basically what he said, he was hopeful. And there was a standing invitation. So nothing formal yet, nothing definitely confirmed, but you'll be the first to know. I'll keep you posted. But basically they're hoping it's going to happen in the coming period, a glorious country. And it would be wonderful to get them down there. What normally happens is the king has to go first, which he did did. They had a very successful tour, you might remember, last year. And then basically there's this open invitation. And they did a 9-day tour, Charles and Camilla, last year. And they had and Samoa, Australia and Samoa last October. And there were more than 10,000 people turning out outside Sydney Opera House on the final day. Basically, as I say, the protocol dictates that the new monarch must visit the realm first before the heir to the throne.
Okay.
That's now happened, and obviously what's going to happen. The last time, interesting, they were there was in April 2014, Prince William and Princess Catherine, when they had a 9-month-old Prince George, and that's what happened. Obviously, George is now 12, and they had Princess Charlotte, who's 10, and Prince Louis, the wonderful Prince Louis, in 7. So it's going to be an interesting sort of visit if it does happen in the not-too-distant future.
Oh, we would love to have them. Be very exciting for us. Now, we've got to talk about Meghan Markle. There's been more signs that Meghan just can't give up her royal life, even though she went off to California in 2020. She can't quite let go of the royal life. What's happened here?
Well, it's wonderful stuff, and it's a sort of a subtle hint, if you like, because she has this glorious series, as you know, flogging. It's like an infomercial all the time, all the different products they sell with the jam and various other things. Well, she's now got these pots and these vases, and she's rearranging flowers, one of which was Queen Anne lace. You get the subtle reference there.
Right.
So any sort of royal connection, and this is what they're saying. But she also basically was rearranging these glorious flowers while the 44-year-old and her husband have since moved to California, and they no longer represent the British royals. They're saying she's desperately hanging on to this sort of side. And she also gave us a little tour of her £14 million mansion. So you had a little look at that sort of side. And she shared clips with her 4.2 million followers, basically looking at this glorious side and peddling her wares. In addition, this comes on the back of she used to wear a ring, which has a £3,185, what's called a Queen water drop moonstone ring. There you go. The subtle hint is in the Queen. So any royal hint at all, anybody says, oh, hang about, she's wearing a Queen ring and she's wearing these Queen and she's putting on these Queen flowers. That's the little thing. Anything royal to do with good old Meghan?
Absolutely. No, it does not surprise me one bit. Now, Thomas Markle claims a fair bit of insight into Meghan Markle's history before she was with Prince Harry. What's been said?
Well, isn't it glorious? Isn't it what everybody wants is for their father to spill the beans on their previous relationships? Yeah, thanks, Thomas. So he doesn't miss an opportunity to come out. And he's done all sorts of more revelations about that. Obviously, she's been married to Harry since 19th of May 2018. They got 2 wonderful children together. But she talked about the previous relationships, including with Trevor Engelson, the American film producer and literary manager. And what happens? They spoke also about her university years. How embarrassing is that? And apparently, he spilled all the beans to the author Tina Brown, saying that she had her pick of the sought-after basketball hunks. And she basically said that her first year of college, she pointed at one guy and said, that's the boy who's going to be my boyfriend. And indeed, he did become her boyfriend. He's probably ready to sell his kiss and tell story as well. Apparently, she was very, very effective with men, is what they did. The first ever boyfriend was apparently Steve Lepore, who was a basketball player, and she met him at freshman year at Northwestern University. They apparently dated for 5 months before he accepted an opportunity at a college in North Carolina. Boy, did he miss out on that Netflix series. So he's got to be well. But Andrew Morton also called them quite a pair, and she also had all sorts of other relationships and so on and so forth. What happened, however, she felt that her husband wasn't very good at getting her new roles. This is what the revelation was, which is why that relationship didn't survive. She moved on to Harry, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Oh, and it's been so quiet ever since she's moved on to Harry. Oh, a little bit too much information, I think, from both of them. But Andrew Eborn, thank you so much for your time. Brilliant to speak to you as always.
It's lovely to speak with you, Gabriella. See you next week.